morning. And I had a little bit of a technical difficulty getting here. I see Kevin's first up. And Raul, good morning. I just wanted to know if you guys were able to see what's going on, because I had a little technical hiccup this morning, and before we get started, I wanted to be sure that everything is back as it needs to be. Oh, good morning, family. Fretboard family. Here we are. We're here today and here tomorrow. Yesterday, I wanted to let you know that I did work out. I worked on a little bit on adjusting my truss rod, and I wanted just to let you know the process. So what I typically would do is get my guitar moving, like, you know, with the appropriately sized tool. Good morning, Mr. Tortorello. Before we get started, I've been working a little bit. I did a half turn, so my guitar neck had too much. My guitar neck has, it's too flat. It's super flat, right? And it needs just a little bit of relief. So if I wanted to get that relief in there, I have to sort of go counterclockwise the way counterclockwise the way this machine works, so that the neck will kind of release and let the strings pull it forward a little bit. So I just turned it 1/2 a turn, and what I do is for this particular guitar, you can see the little hole. You can see the hole right here in that bridge, that bridging or whatever. There's a little piece of spruce in there that has been carved. They just kind of cut through, so you can get this. You can locate that Allen wrench into that hole, and then just kind of give it a little bit of counterclockwise motion. I only go a half turn at a time. Some recommend to do a 1/4 turn at a time, but I'm familiar enough with where this guitar was at, and I think I had a pretty good idea about where it needs to go. So everybody's on board this morning. Kevin, Anthony liked your version of Fire and Rain. Oh yeah, I didn't see that one yet. Nice. Here's our A440. All right. So as we've been progressing through our morning ritual, we are starting to really focus on and rely on this being time for, you know, just solely for warm-ups. And if you have questions are definitely welcome. So let's go ahead and just get tuning up. If you're already tuned, I'm a little bit behind the game today. I have a few surprise things going on but if you hang out today, we're talking about characteristic chords later on and finishing our warm-up. When we get there, you know that we're nearing the end. And characteristic triads, and we'll be playing through the C major scale. Should be pretty approachable and pretty inviting. So I would encourage you to hang around for that. All right. That 1/2 a turn, I can already feel like it's done the guitar some good. So I'm working on tuning up just now, and if you've got some coffee to brew, I'll be another second here. You know, if you need to fix yourself another cup of joe, I'll be just a second But if you're joining us, I'm working on, in the background, my mind is screaming to me and saying, pay attention to your breath. And so I'll do that. I'm going to continue to breathe in and out. And really, I'm just becoming more observant, even though it's Thursday. I'm coming from a really busy morning here, and I forget sometimes that so many of us are coming from so many different places that it's a good idea to continually encourage the observance of our metronome, or our metronomic approach. So we have nearly tuned up. So it sounds to me like there's something a little out. There it is, the T string. You guys ready to hit it? Okay, fingers 3 and 4 on frets 9 and 11 and 12. 4 attacks per beat. Teach me how to play Fire and Rain. Yeah, you know, Anthony Tortorello, you can see him right here in the live chat. I have not seen it yet, but Kevin Haas has said, he's made an exclamation that I love your cover of Fire and Rain. So if you haven't seen that yet, I would recommend you check it out. And then I'm sure he can teach you how to play Fire and Rain. We can maybe talk about that a little later today too, if you'd like. What a wonderful song. What a wonderful, wonderful piece of writing. Play so Marty Robbins. Yeah, all right. We've got the requests, the song requests rolling in already. So let's keep those coming in. And right at the moment, we are currently engaged in warming up. So let me just get us started. We're using fingers 3 and 4, and then I'll keep talking about what's going on. Fingers 3 and 4, frets 11 and 12 on the low E string. And it's going to sound like this, 4 attacks per beat. 1 E and 1 E and a 2 E and a T E and a 4 E. And so it's going to look like this. And we're exercising the sort of like weak links of the fret hand for this morning. Just get going, as we do every morning. So we'll start there. 1 E and a 2 E and a T E and a 4 E and a. And we're off and running. And so most of the people here, you can see that there are, you know, roughly, you know, between 30 and 40 people here at the moment. And we're all here, most of us are here to get our morning ritual on, which is a sequence of breathing techniques sometimes, and then we focus on other things, tuning up, and also a chromatic style approach that is non-scalar. It's not diatonic, it's not necessarily harmonic material, but we do want to continue to make it and elevate it to the status of a musical expression, or make it sound musical, I guess is another way to say that. I'm operating at 60 beats per minute, and today we are breaking down the limits to get right up to and start with 4 attacks per beat. Moving on, fingers 2 and 3, 1 E and a same thing, 2 E and a ready, go. feel like that half a turn made quite, on my truss rod yesterday afternoon, made quite a difference. I may have to take it a little further, but we'll find out. I like to keep my action on my guitars as low as possible, especially on my electric instruments, because I like to let the amplification do the work. You know, I don't really need to beat on the guitars to get the sound out of them, especially on an electric guitar where the amp can do the work. So my theory behind that is I like the ease of use, I like the feel of low action, but I also have my strings barking at me quite a bit. So if my strings bark too much, that means that if I'm gingerly playing through these scales, it means I need to raise the action. So I've adjusted my truss rod from a flat neck yesterday, counterclockwise, fingers 1 and 2. Here, let's keep the show on the road. 1 E and a 2 E and a T E and a 4 E and a. What I like to do is keep these, I'm building up my fret hand. At the same time, I'm building up my right hand, my picking hand. And I'm looking for comments, as comments come in, if you're not playing along or if you have taken a break, feel free to answer or reply in these comments, the live chat. There are guitar players from all over the planet that, are showing up, and some of us are really interested in the community chat and just helping where we can. So don't hesitate, even though I'm working away over here and trying to lead the charge and keep the show moving, I'm expecting that you are here practicing with us, engaged in this morning ritual, which happens, I have to give it a plug. It's 5 days a week, 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the remainder of 2025, and we are going to see some major gains here. 1, 2 E and a T E. Oh, let's take a look at fingers 3 and 4 on frets 10 and 12. Good morning, Salam. 1 E and a 2 E and T E and a 4 E. Fingers 3 and 4. Slide does need high action, absolutely. Higher action than what I usually keep on most of my guitars. I do leave a guitar or two set up for slide guitar. I usually will try to get to the slide on one of my tellies, or and another acoustic guitar that I keep specifically set for slide. So I've got this bridge, this nice bridge from fingers 3 and 4. I'm using just a little bit of finger expansion. Feel like I'm locking it in. I feel like the guitar could use another half turn on the truss rod. So maybe I'll take a look at that. I haven't decided yet, but fingers 2 and 3, same thing, frets 10 and 12, and starting with a low E string. 1 E and a 2 E and a, you know what to do, and a. Good morning, Brad. Good morning, Ethan. Resonator guitar sounds good. John Larkin, I'm learning slide, so I'll leave one rigged too. Yeah, good idea. And if you are not familiar with what's going on, this live stream, the morning live stream, is intended to get us up and moving around on the guitar thus turning us into guitar players over the span of a day. You know, if we start with the guitar, that means we're more likely to end with the guitar as well. So we'll continue playing guitar through the day. And if we don't, fingers 1 and 2, frets 10 and 12, 1 E and a 2 E and a here we go E and if we don't play the guitar for the rest of the day, we've already done our maintenance drill, so we're not going to lose any ground theoretically. So this is a good place to be at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time every morning. And what we do is if you miss the stream in the mornings, we'll go ahead and repost it and reshare it as a, so you can look at it on demand. Yeah, on demand is great because sometimes we'll talk about we'll introduce some new things and we'll want to go back and review and look for that. So just take a notepad with you in the morning. Take a look at the time code and see where the thing was that we talked about that you want to go and review, and you can go ahead and get back there and review it at your own leisure at half the speed if you'd like. I can see that I'm giving a little bit more juice to my top strings, and they're barking at me a little bit, so I do need to go ahead and do a little bit more correction on my truss rod adjustments. So a little bit later today, I'll give it another half or quarter turn counterclockwise to loosen it up, so I can get that neck just giving me a little more relief, so I can get those strings a little more clearance. I want to be really careful because I don't want to overdo it. All right, fingers 2 and 3 and 4, 1 E and a 2 E and a 10, 11, 12, 4 E and here we go. We're continuing to keep on, and we're using some of Steve Vai's 10-hour guitar workout later today. We'll continue that along, and then we're going to add a triadic approach to these warm-ups because we want to be tonal players, tonal musicians too. As much as we like these mechanical scalar, non-scalar processes, we do want to continue to support and foster growth harmonically. Hey, remember the other day we talked about, growing our songwriting skills over the span of this year too? Do you remember that? Were you here for that? And we were talking about how it would be nice, how we started some Arts in the Parks programming right here in my home state with the Commissioner of Parks and Lands. We started the Arts in the Parks programming, and then mentioned it. Wouldn't it be a good idea for all of the people, who might be interested in songwriting on this channel to go ahead and start thinking about writing songs about national parks here in the United States, across the country. Did you know, I don't know if it's recently done, but I just heard that YouTubers they're now allowed to film in national parks. I don't know, so I don't know what that means. Does that mean anything good for us if we were songwriting? Fingers 1, 2, and 3. Here we go. 1 E and a 2 E and a you know what to do E and Yeah, Anthony, Mr. Tortorelli, or Tort, the great Tort, is a very productive young man, and if you haven't checked out his channel yet, you're gonna love it. So we've got a lot of stuff going on. Can you do some SpongeBob song? That's funny. Yes, I can probably, but we're going to focus right now. At the moment, we're going to focus on. I've just got to maintain my focus because there are other guitar players here who are also warming up. And if I talk too much and I just notice I'm still talking loud, I'm not really observant of the metronome, I really want to shift my step to get myself back to this home base. And focus on getting us through these morning warm-ups. The morning warm-ups could take as long as you would like them. We are going to develop so much material that we don't have enough time to do all of it. Let's do fingers 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 on frets 9 and 10, 11 and 12, and we're starting with low E and 1 E and a 4 attacks per beat. So 1 E and a 2 E and a T E and a faux E. And if you're new here, first of all, we wanted to welcome all of you. You'll notice that what we're trying to do and what we will do is develop and maintain a culture of respect. First of all, respect for the self, respect for the higher power first, and then the respect for the self, and then outwardly to others. So, but the guitar, we're developing a deep respect for the guitar, for the instrument of the guitar, through morning ritual and all of the mechanical processes that are circumtangentially important to the performance, the flawless and meaningful performance of the instrument. So that's one of the things we're doing here. We're just here every morning, 5 days a week, at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you're just finding us, I wanted to say welcome and thank you so much for being here. What we are doing is we're growing as guitar players. So by doing this 130, 150, up to 200 hours a year over the next, throughout 2025, we are going to notice something about our skills. Our skills are going to become sharpened. Our skills are going to become perfected. We're working toward that. We're shooting for those golden arches, and then of course we'll never reach them. So we're going to run the risk of feeling like failures because we likely will never reach perfection. But if we shoot for that in our own way, we then arrive at a place where we become comfortable and content with where we are. And that starts with right now. Are you comfortable with where you are at right now on the instrument? My answer is yes. I would love to play more guitar. And if that's the case, if you would love to play more guitar too, well, you can make that a possibility, right? It's either staying up later, waking up earlier, and just finding that time. So thank you for joining us, and let's go ahead and use fingers 1, 2, 3, stretch 4, 9, 10, 11, and 13. We'll start here. 1 E and a 2, T E and a 4 E and a. 𝗪𝗁𝗪 back today. Good morning. Welcome back. Thank you for making another go at it. If you can make it at 7:30, I don't know if you were here at 7:30, but we started 1 minute behind today, which is not characteristic of this situation. There was a little technical hiccup on my end, but we start with warm breath work, tuning up and warming up. All of that sequence is all being done together. I don't do any of that stuff off camera. It's not like this needs to be a glamour shot or a glamour session. It's just that we need to, I feel like I need to get through these things and want to be able to share that stuff with you. And that process of getting ready for the practice includes breathing work and tune-up work. And it's important to not feel rushed while we're doing that. To enjoy every moment, each and every moment, each and every click, each and every breath, because each one is a gift. It truly is a gift. Yeah, I think the reward is think you don't. There's some legitimacy in not feeling comfortable, exactly comfortable or perfectly contented with wherever we're at. That can be a driver of great success and great humility at the same time, right? So there's this really nice pattern here. We're using position number 9. Same thing we just did with the 4th finger stretch, but now we're going back to the 1st finger stretch. 1 E and a 2 E, frets 8, 10, and 11, and 12. And this is typically a little bit more challenging for my person, and you're more than welcome to jump in with me. Ready? 1 E and a 2 E and a, you know what to do, and got a little bit of palm mute I'm throwing down. Just practicing my slow rate of speed, my slow John McLaughlin. Dark. Yo. AD, I strongly dislike practicing on my acoustic guitar until I take my Adderall. Yeah, the guitar is, here's how I work around that. I have a similar affliction, I think, and many of us do, and I'm so happy that, I don't know if you're joking or if you're serious, but I take that very seriously because, if we're not fully engaged in each sound that we make, we may as well go to culinary school or something and then listen to that sizzle, because that sizzle is pretty exciting. That sizzle and that smell, that's exciting stuff, But if we're able to take the most monotonous or the most mundane and the most basic of techniques and practice these and observe them as supremely important, then we can use these as tools for later on as we recognize them during an improvisational performance. So these are wildly important to me. Are you going to play songs? Do you know what? Are you interested? If you're interested in me playing songs, I do play songs. I have a live stream that's for members where we can get together and we can talk about wide open questions. I set an agenda and then we transcribe songs. We do some ear training. We talk about how to transcribe songs, the value of transcription in a day of the guitar life. And we do all of these things. So if you would like to get really granular and you would like to approach those things, that's the setting for that. That's a setting for that. I teach songs here on my YouTube channel. So if you have requests for songs, if I have some time during this warm-up sequence, I love to play songs, and definitely do that, But if you have something that you would like to learn, or if you'd like to see curated right here on the channel, just let us know. Just let us know, because we can make that happen. Guitar is a little bit out, so let me just check this before we skid into the next thing. Actually, now's a great time to do a little bit of stretching here for me. So I'm gonna stretch, and as you know, I like to go through the comments while I stretch. So let me just get a hit of that, just a sip of that bean, and then this is a mocha pot. It's stovetop espresso. It's the old school, and I'm totally in love with this thing. Just totally in love with the with that high test bean, So the stretching looks like this. It's junior high school gym class, just straight arms, and then we're pulling on the fingers. We're equally pulling. We're not pulling hard because we do not want to create micro tears in the tendons or anything like that. Wild. Hey, good morning from Lake Louise, Alberta. You know what? I drove through there. I did a trip with a friend of mine I flew to Anchorage, spent a few weeks or whatever fly fishing on the Kenai, and we were just going all over the place. We got into the dollies, we got into the the rainbows, the silvers. We had days, 200 fish days, and just insane. Just insane. A good friend of mine actually is that was with 𝗀𝗏 with angle 45, and now a really good friend of mine is a guide up there right now as well. I don't know, he doesn't guide much in the winter. I guess he's skiing in Japan probably. But he guides, I think his business name is Kenai River Outfitters. And if you get up there and you see JJ, then you tell him Jason said hi. We're old bandmates from back in the day. But angle, it's great stuff. And on our way back, we drove the continent all the way back, 5,000, 5,500 miles or something, and came up through, Whitehorse, up through the Yukon, down through the Liard River hot springs, and we came right down through the Canadian Rockies. It was a life-changing experience through Jasper and Banff. And just beautiful, beautiful. We stopped at and took a look at Lake Louise. AB Wild Outdoors. I'm so glad that you're here. I'm really glad that you're here. Sorry I missed your comment earlier. Strongly dislike practicing on my acoustic guitar until I take my Adderall. Am I going to play songs? So can you play the good, the bad, and the ugly theme or something from Dire Straits? Now we're talking, Kooky. AD. Should I endure practicing the acoustic guitar if I feel that I bought the wrong kind of guitar, or should I invest in an electric? That's another great question. Anybody else have any insights for that? I think each guitar is separate. Each guitar is its own thing to be practiced, even though it's tuned in standard tuning, or if there's some form of altered tuning. If you were a classical guitarist, you would call an alternate tuning something different. There's a word for it in the Harvard Dictionary of Music, right? But if you practice each guitar, even though they're all tuned in, let's say they're all tuned in standard tuning, each guitar has a different voice we're going to find. Each guitar has different songs in it, different pieces of musical history, different pieces of just different voices. So you'll definitely get a benefit from practicing an electric as an electric, an acoustic as an acoustic. But right now, what I'm doing is we're generalizing here. So we're not specializing in any one area. We're generalizing in an area of guitar wealth. What we're doing is we're stacking up, we're just humping gear into base camp, and then we're going back the 17 miles to grab another load of gear. We're bringing more gear in. And this could go on for weeks. Okay, or months as we stage our climb to, camps 1, 2, and 3, camp 4, as we start to gain some elevation, gain some altitude, things start to become, they get pretty real pretty quickly. And to have a good base of general practice underneath our belts that we can apply to both acoustic and electric guitars. So I'm sure that some of you are here practicing the electric guitar with us this morning. And that's great, that's okay. This is not specific to the acoustic guitar, but it is interesting that you asked that question, and there are these stories that there's Monster Albert Lee would practice on his acoustic guitar for 3 months before going into an electric recording session, and then would show up with an electric guitar, and he'd bend these strings like they were butter. So there are reasons to use one guitar over another one, and some are Olympic in nature, and some are just a question of aesthetic. Some are comfort, some are familiarity. What kind of voice are we shopping for? What voice is going to serve the song the best? And then we want to master that tool and that voice, and elevate that voice to in turn elevate the song that we're contributing to. Okay. I think that's how I feel this morning, you know, and then you ask me the same question tomorrow, I might have a completely different answer for you. So I don't, hopefully it doesn't sound asinine, but I appreciate it. I appreciate the discussion, and I see you can just continue with your practice. Actually, I too am a beginner. There are a lot of beginners here, myself included. I always look at, I don't discount myself because I've been playing for, you know, I don't know if it's decades or whatever. I've been playing for a long time, and I still, every time I sit with a guitar, I have to confess, I still feel like a beginner, and I'm thankful for that. I am so completely thankful for that. That's if that's one of the things I would pray about with a guitar, would be for guitar wisdom and for guitar to help the guitar, help it feel like a new and refreshing and exciting experience every time. So yeah, please stick around. I think the practice will translate no matter the guitar. This is for Cards Ate My Wallet. You start with, I started with electric, then went to the acoustic, and it definitely made me a better player. I think it's that expansion, it's that increase of awareness, situational awareness. You know, we've moved from, you know, a very, don't get me wrong, because the road to heaven is a narrow path, right? You know, for example, I don't want to get too squirrely with my behaviors and too, you know, way out there, because it is like a pendulum. You know, we do see, you know, what's outside this fence is a world of angular, non-linear playing, and we want to be able to absorb that. And over here we have strictly, you know, folk melodies that have been handed down from, you know, folk transferred from generation to generation. That intergenerational transfer also, which I used to discount, I've grown to find that it shall not be discounted, because those human stories are designed to outlive me and us and survive, and to tell the story and make alive the story of the human condition through wonderful music, you know, wonderful music studies. So it's a better player for sure, you know, whether we're grabbing more technique or what. Anthony, I just dug out the chart for the song. I wrote about a park. I think you guys are going to like this. I'm going to post it on my channel later today. All right. Yeah, maybe in the description, do you feel like, I don't know what kind of time you have. I know everyone's busy, so I won't continue to squander your time here. But if you have time to give us a little bit of backstory in the video description, I'm assuming you're posting it to your YouTube channel. Shy, hey, good morning. I know I just spoke a lot. I'm going to try to keep moving on and try to complete this warm-up sequence. And then if we can look at SpongeBob here later this morning, I'll definitely get to that. So thank you for the reminder. Yeah, long journey ahead is just enthusiasm. Yeah. You know, that's interesting. That's really great. Alden. Good morning, Alden. Welcome to the live stream. We're here every day, 5 days a week, 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard, doing the warm-up thing. So please come back and enjoy the session with us. So fingers 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's a small yet mighty live stream. We're doing the work, and we're using finger 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then we're sliding down a position, and then sliding down a position, and then, okay, so what we're going to do is just 4 attacks per beat. And if you're a beginner, you can observe this and then come back later when it's reposted and look at it. So we're at the 39-minute marker, and study it and get up to speed and join us. 1 E and a 2 E and a you know what to do E and a. Starting on the top 4 strings, then I'm moving to the middle 4 strings without stopping. I'm right back where we started. Right, so now what we're doing, we're engaged in this descent, the pattern of descent. But everything that goes down, well, everything that goes up must come down. Everything that goes down, because I guess there's velocity and gravity, and there are all of these coefficients of things involved that create inverse operations. So if you go down and hit something, maybe you go the other way. So we'll say it back up. Position number 9, and then we go to lower 4 strings, bottom 4 strings, and we're doing the old spider crawl. And you can see my 4th finger was getting a little bit wild, and I'm using my viewport on my mobile phone as a mirror, and now my 4th finger is not going so wild. It's staying closer to the string surfaces because I want to improve my strength and improve my speed, and the only way I can do that is by practicing slowly the things that I want to play up to speed. Yeah, all right, now we're moving over to B flat minor. We're getting close, we're getting somewhere now. Finger 1, 4, 3, 1, 3. That's 1 flat, and in terms of chord tones, 1 flat 3, 5, flat 7, 1. 1 flat 3, 5, flat 7, but we're not going up to 1. We're going, when we get to the top, we're shifting up 1 fret. We get to the bottom, we shift up 1 fret or 1 position. Yes, yes, it's just wonderful goodness. Let's do this together. If you don't mind, we'll start right now. 1 and a 2 and a T and a vo and then I'm trying to make this velocity oriented, and I'm also trying to make this a dynamically musical experience too. Good. All right, let's take a look at major 7 arpeggios. So we'll start with 1st finger, 1, 3, 5, major 7, 1. How many of us are familiar with an artist, a writer, musician named Philip Glass? Any Philip Glass fans out there? If you haven't listened to Philip Glass, you might enjoy that. There's a great, he did the soundtrack for, I forget what the name of the movie is, something, there's a title and the subtext is A Life Out of Balance, and you're going to love the soundtrack. So let's take a look at finishing up that. We'll go above the octave, the same thing we did for the minor 7 arpeggio. So it's 1, 4, stretchy, finger 2, 5, the 5. I'm saying way too much. So 1, I'm use finger numbers. 1, 4, stretch up to, so 1 and 5. Let's use fret numbers. A string, 1 and 5, and then 3, and then 2, and then 3. 1, 5, 3, 2, 3. 1, 5, 3, 2, 3. And that's how I approach the new thing. Okay, 1, 5, 3, 2, 3, 2, and then 3, 1, 5. Then we'll move up, we'll ascend by 1/2 step. Good. Okay, 4 beats per, 4 tacks per beat. 1 E and a 2 E. I'm gonna pick up my guitar and try to match that. Do it, do it. Yeah, that's what we're here to do. We're all here practicing. So when we get quiet, you know the food's good, right? 1 E and a 2 E and a T E and a faux E and a. Way up there. Okay, let's take a look at the dominant 7. 1, 5, 3, 1 with a flat 7 and a 1, 5, 3, and then there's the third and then the flat 7. So here it is, if you know it. These are great things to practice because we can outline a tonality without playing the chord, and we don't sound like noodling guitar players when we outline a chord with an arpeggio. So this is of great use to us as we employ and as we look to seek to expand our situational awareness on the guitar, or we call it, some of us call it playing over the changes, right? 1 and a 2 E and a you know what to do E and a. Good. So those are dominant 7 qualities. Minor 7 flat 5 is the last. So we have major 7 quality, minor 7 quality, dominant 7 quality, and then the minor 7 flat 5 quality. And those are the 4 7th chord sonorities in a diatonic major scale, or a diatonic minor scale, or any of the modes of, you know, major or minor, right? So, for example, we don't need to learn any other 7th chord shapes in order to make these functionally diatonic sounds. Okay, so let's start with position 2 because we have a finger 1 stretch back. So we'll use root, flat 3, flat 5, flat 7, root, flat 3, flat 5, flat 7. It's pretty similar to the diminished 7th, which has a double flatted 6 in it, or a double flatted 7, which is actually a natural 6, right? We can do that stuff later on, but we're remaining diatonic at the moment. So 1, 2 E and a T E and a faux E and a. Turn it around. What's that? Okay. Right, okay, so that's now complete. Let's take a quick look. Now we're moving on to something new that we've been introducing, and this has been, I don't want to overlook this, so I do want to get into the Steve Vai guitar workout. It's 49 minutes and 30 seconds, and we're starting on figure 1, and figure 1 is going to be just the, and I've got this beautiful new stand that I really enjoy. I'm really liking it a lot, and the build quality is good. We're using 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. When we get to the top, we're not going descending. We're going to go up a position and still do the 1, 2, 3, 4 pattern, but on positions 2. So we're using 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're always going up. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 throughout. Doesn't matter where we're going. This is another sequence. Let's do this in let's do this in let's do 16th note triplets. All right, just to get through it. Turn the tide. 𝗪𝗿𝗀𝗃𝗃. Tide ebbs and flows twice in 24 hours there. There's that pattern. Okay, now we're looking at figure number 2 in the 𝗧𝗍𝗍, the famous 𝗧𝗍𝗍, 10-hour guitar workout, which was published in January 1990 in a Guitar World magazine. Very famous segment. This one is 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're using 2, 3, 4, 1, and then 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 2, and then 4. So we're starting with 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, and then 4. It's definitely a tongue twister for me still. It's getting better. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, and then 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then what's going on here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're just shifting, we're displacing our finger usage. So that's another pattern that we're practicing currently together. Another one would be to use the same exercise, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, and then shifting in position after we completed our round of 4s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, and then 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Good. Yes. The next one that we're looking for, this is figure number 4 now. This is going to be a symmetrical pattern, which is 1, 3, 4. And you can start with me if you'd like. 1, 2, 3, and 3, and 3, and 4, and then we get up here, and it's still that descend. 1, 3, 4. And we're still working our way down. And we descend still going up with the fingers 1, 3, and 4. These are those exercises that mechanically get us to be, forget about the scalar things that we've learned, and these are reprogramming habits. So these are programming us for speed and awareness. So we can have a lot of fun with those kinds of things. All right. Good morning, Aiden. Pick up your guitar. That's right. Do it. I was 5. Matt. All right. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's a good age to be then. You were probably a blistering guitar player then, weren't you? Okay, one more thing I want to talk about before we jump today. As we're getting close, I want to just do a quick stretch. So if any of you are still here and you'd like to drop a heart or a like, we'd like to typically get to 20 likes on each morning ritual video. If we don't do it, no problem. But if we can do it, that'd be really cool if we could. So you are asking today about whether we are playing on acoustic guitar or electric guitar, and you can see the guitar behind me hanging up is a nice electric guitar with a whammy bar on it. It's the Floyd Rose style whammy bar. Good morning. And we are going to practice. We are going to practice on electric guitars. We're definitely going to practice on electric guitars. That's not a question. And I'll have an amp up here or down here. I'm probably going to relocate myself back down to the studio as we start moving into the new year here. And that will, we'll have access to other amps, and then maybe we can talk about some neural DSP plugins. We can talk about tone. We can talk about a lot of different things that we can, we just don't typically talk about with the acoustic guitar. One of the things that we talk about with the acoustic guitar, though, is just the generation of dynamics. How long can a note last? That's one thing that we need to really understand and fully appreciate as acoustic guitar play. Any guitar. How long does the note sustain for if I pluck it, at a reasonable attack? Still going. I can still hear it. And it's gone, from my hearing. So I know I can do how many clicks? So I've got, let's do this. I've got like 12 clicks. So that's like 12 seconds, and how long does the high E string ring? So these are things I should be familiar with on a fundamental level on my guitar. I should make myself aware of, because I'm a good person. I deserve to be aware of all of the tools that I have at my expressive disposal, right? So let's do a high E string. I'm not asking too much out of it, but I am just giving it a good push. How long does the string last before it reaches full decay? At least to my perception. It may be 10 seconds, So it's one of those things that I need to understand. The high E string seems to decay faster, at a rate faster than the low E string on this guitar. And then some guitars I have, the sustain is insane. They last for a very long time. So now with that in mind, I could play long tones. So I can really like start to explore new possibilities on my instrument just because I understand, you know, some very basic elemental properties of my instrument and the strings. Even strings are going to start changing how we perceive the instrument, right? So we have an A minor and then a D chord, D, and then back to G major. So here's a here's a little secret. You know, you can do the 2-5-1s with the 2 chord with the added 9 in the bass, and then sequence that down, but then add, because we're approaching that triad, you know, the G, this is another Ted Green little trick. So you're approaching that triad, that G chord, root 3-5. We're using the 2 minor, which is minor, but we're just going to extend that up to an added 9 in the bass. And then we're going to approach by half step, which is a tritone substitution of the D chord, right? Flat 2 major with the 5 in the bass. Is some very interesting harmonic territory. But we're going to make that a add 9 voicing too, because we're parallel planing down to the 1, which is going to be the G with the add 9. So we have 2 minor, 9, and then a 5 with a sharp 5, flat 7, and a flat 9, and then a 1 with a major 9. So really cool stuff going on. And that's why I wanted to talk a little bit with you today about triads and how we're planing these through the major scale, even during our warm-up sections. So we're starting with open G, and we're starting with very simple, basic triads. Open G. Anyone can do it. If you're here and you're still playing, you've never done anything like this before, you can definitely do this. Finger 1, open G, finger 1 on B, open high E. And then we're moving up to fret 5 on the G, fret 5 on the B, and fret 3 on the B. So. And then since we've been working pick sequencing, this is also, play a Skynyrd song, yeah. Play some Skynyrd, buddy. I love it. I love Skynyrd, like you wouldn't even believe. Hey, B, good day, mate. I see some more comments here. Yeah, Jesus loves you, brother. Amen. Hey, Kevin, it must be time. We're wrapping it up. Yep, good call, man. So we're wrapping up. We'll see you tomorrow, Kevin. Thank you so much for being here, and we'll look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. And you going through C triads, you got it, right? So we're starting with, because we're working all of these morning ritual ideas, I'm just going to complete this thought, okay? If you want to hang out, you're more than welcome. If you've got to jump, totally understand. And I wish you a wonderful day. And I know I'm trying to keep these kind of like shorter and under control, but I really wanted to introduce this to you. So if you don't get it now, if you want to come get it later, you can grab it at about 63 minutes. We're going to walk through the whole thing. And we're using down, up, down, alternate picking in the right hand. And then we're starting with the very top string grouping. We're using all contiguous strings to get through these exercises. We'll use top 3. This is a George Van Epp's method. Top 3 strings, next group down, next group down. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 different string groups of 3, which are contiguous strings, okay? Open G, fret 1, open high E. And then 5, 5, 3, and then 9, 8, 8. And then back to where we came, an octave higher. Back to the place from whence we came, an octave higher. So 12, 13, 12. Yeah. And then we're moving to the next string set down, which is 3, open 1, which is 3, 3, 5, 1. DG string, DGB string, so 2, open 1. So we have 2 open 1, and then 5 5 5, and then 3 2 1, and then back to an octave higher from the place from whence we came. We have 14, 12, and 13. And it's always down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Three, 2 open on the next string group down. 3 2 open. Yeah, the caged system, that's right. I just look at it as a system that is devised on what it is, you know. It's just triads, you know. I've got to, and then you will figure out the patterns and how they intertwine together on your own free will and accord, my guess. You know, 3, next string set down, we have 3 2 open, and then we have 7 5 5, which is another voicing on the A, D, and G string. So 3 2 open, 7 5 5, and then 10 10 9, and then 3. And then what is it going to be? 3 2 open, but it's 15 14 12. Right. The bottom 3 strings, and our final approach for the day is 3 3 2. This is all C major triad. It's the 5th and the root and the 3rd of the chord, and then we're using that, and then we're moving from there to 8 7 5, which is the root 3 and 5, and then we're moving up to 12 10 and 10 on the bottom 3 strings. So we have 3 3 2, 8 7 5, and then 12 10 10. Yeah. Good. All right. So what we've done today, we covered some breathing, we covered some tuning, which we do every morning. We start 5 days a week through all of 2025. It's free experience, so if you show up, there's no expectation for free. But we do have members who drop super chats once in a while, and some drop 50 spots on super chats, and those are appreciated, because you know you can't change the world if you can't keep the lights on. Problem number 1, feed yourself. Okay, problem number 1, feed yourself. But if you're beyond feeding yourself and you can show up here, you're more than welcome to show up here for free. It's going to be 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 days a week through all of 2020, okay? So I want to let you know we're here doing morning warm-ups. We're doing breath work, tune-up, chromatic style exercises, scalar style exercises. We're introducing new things a little bit at a time. By the time 2025 comes to a wrap, we're going to take a look at the very first video we took here, and we're going to overlay it with the video that we took here a year from now, and we're going to compare to see just how many gains we achieved over the span of a year. 130, 150, 175 hours worth of guitar practice in the mornings, 5 days a week, half an hour. You do the math. It's all free. I'm going to be here, and until I guess what I'm going to do is I'll go through. Let's see if we can get up to 20 likes before we jump, okay? Let's see if we can do that. If you don't mind helping me with that, you could click like, you could like the video right now if you're here. And if everyone who is here right now, we could have 40 likes, right? So if you don't mind, thank you very much. I would love it if you would help to click that like button on the video and like the video, just for you know, we just want to see Mr. Jason Carey guitar beg, and I don't think it's beneath me. I really don't. I think it's a nice quality to have. But you know, you don't want to seem too needy. Do you know what I mean? Because I don't really need anything, I guess. I could do this all year long and not really ask. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to stop asking. And I'm going to wish you all a wonderful day. And I look forward to, I'm so excited to see you all again tomorrow. And keep doing the good work. Keep doing the good things. And bring a guitar. And don't worry about tuning up, because we'll take the time to tune up together. And then we'll start running from there. Anybody who is learning this right now, pay attention. He is teaching something really good. I did those on my own a long time ago. Hey, you know what? 𝗏𝗏, T-A, 𝗏𝗏. I'm just going to call you 𝗏𝗏 if you don't mind. I really appreciate the testimonial, the testament that you are a believer in bettering the self through the guitar. That's why we're here, and it works. It pays dividends over time, and it's just such a beautiful life to be part of. So I appreciate you encouraging others to do the same. And 𝗏𝗏, 5 more guys, come on, we can do it. We We only have 3 more now. I see it looks like 2 or 3 more. Maybe I'll hang out for a second. Do you want to see, let me just play some more arpeggios. Here's another arpeggio that you can do. I know a lot of you have ducked off because you've got other things. Sometimes practicing is really, we can't stay in a status of warm-up all day, right? So, but let's take a look at some really great arpeggios. If, let's say, you wanted to play the canon in D, there are 2 arpeggio types, and then there's this root 3, 5, and then root 3, and it's similar to the work that we did earlier today. But we're, instead of using 3-note triads, we're just duplicating notes and placing them in other areas of the guitar. And I'm waiting for you, yes, I'm waiting for you to like the video, just so we can get to 20 likes today, okay? That's our benchmark. We like to get to that. We like to meet a goal, and you can help us meeting that goal by just simply clicking the like button on the video. Go ahead and like the video now, and then so that's what we're doing. We're unlocking the mysteries of the guitar together in real time during these morning sequences. So I hope to see you again tomorrow. And Raul, good morning. 5 more guys, just for shits and giggles. Love it. And Derek Bills, you have a blessed day. You have a blessed day too. We're getting ready to wrap it up. Cool, Steve. Yeah, thanks for being here. I'll see you guys all tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Isaac, damn, that's a nice guitar. Thank you very kindly. I didn't build it, but I sure do enjoy playing it. He's playing a Martin. Oh, it is a Martin. It's a DX2E. It's my workhorse for this year. You know, I didn't want to burn out some of my other guitars that were a little more costly to repair. But this thing is just it's a beautiful workhorse. So we'll see you again tomorrow. And Gary, Beer Boy, yeah, nice to see you this morning. Oh, I don't use any of the strings. I refuse to use the coated strings. You know, for some reason, I can't do it. I don't like having, you know, all of the reasons why we wouldn't use certain other things, but, you know, the nano web technology is great for some of us. I don't, you know, I wipe my strings down. I use the MA 545s or whatever they're 12s. They're the phosphor bronze Martin guitar strings. Once in a while, my friend Kurt Mangan, I'll use Mr. Mangan's strings, and if you can get your hands on some of Kurt's strings, I would recommend checking him out. But I'll use like this 12s, you know, I don't want to overdo it. If I'm using a banger, if I'm getting ready for a bluegrass, like a flat picking competition, I'll put the 13s or whatever on my Conley, or, you know, another guitar that's kind of built for that kind of weight. But I feel like this guitar, the weight, the 12 is good, you know, a phosphor bronze, a good quality phosphor bronze, and then wipe the string down at the end. So that way you get the full series of overtone structure, and you don't have the winding or the wrapping on the string like the put Gore-Tex on strings now. You know, they've been doing that for decades, I guess. Just so that, you know, you don't have all the cracks and the crevices for finger acids to build up and harden and solidify and make the strings sound like garbage. But if you care for your strings, you don't need to do any of that, right? You can just, you know, enjoy strings that sound natural, and you can I don't change my strings every 6 months or whatever. I love the sound of broken in string. If the strings don't sound broken, I don't like it. You know, it's a little bit too bright for me, but. And then when I do replace the strings and they sound super new, then it's just such a beautiful, expressive experience. So, hey, if you're here, do you mind just clicking like on this video real quick so we can get this this video up to 20 likes? I really appreciate any help you can give me in that department. I use medium elixirs. See, like, elixirs are for some, and they are, you know, for others, you know. I have friends, I have student friends and other professional friends who, like, that's all they play. And I'm like, I just don't, I try to, maybe I haven't given them a fair enough chance, you know what I mean? Maybe I haven't given them a fair shot. I saw that like happen. So we can do one more, that would be great. Maybe two more, maybe. I think we're getting there. It looks like we're at 19, you know, maybe one more like. 1356, there you go. That's a cannon. You're wiring up a cannon. You're ready to like shoot steel balls across the harbor with that thing, man. That's that's a big guitar. Yeah. What kind of guitar are you putting that on? 80-20. Yeah, you use the 80-20s. Yep. Yeah, I mean, as long as you have some kind of a combination to the anti-corrosion sort of, you know, metallurgies are good. Those are great. Can you play a complete song next time? All right, do we up to 20? How many likes are we at? Are we at 20 likes yet? I'll tell you what, you get to 20, get me to 20 likes, I'll play you a song. I should say get me to 40 likes, but I'm practicing. I'm just a bad business practitioner, do you know what I mean? It looks like we're moving backwards. Someone unliked the video. Ooh, Alvarez. Yeah, I have friends who play Alvarez. Like, one of the guys is I don't own, you know, weird, I don't own any Alvarez. Jeez, play Brain Damage. Oh, wow, Grant. Yeah. Wow. There's wow. All right, I'm gonna play a song here. I can't seem to get to, you know, get to 40 likes. My tuning went to. What happened here? Seemed like I think my D string string went out, and I just retuned my entire guitar because I didn't double check my A string. Oh, here's one for you. Here's one for you. I saw someone. Oh, okay. I saw someone. I'm gonna play the song and then I'm gonna jump because I know you guys are all busy. So it's their bluegrass model. Has Ford X bracing at Sitka spruce. Love it. African mahogany back and sides with a soft V-neck. Yeah, beautiful guitar. That's an absolute. That's what you call a keeper. I bought an Alvarez. I built with a built-in pickup, preamp, and brand new out a week from AMC. Good. It's very quiet too. Grant, that's great to hear. I'm loving it. You know, don't forget to go back and take a look at Tony Anthony Tortorello's. You can check him out earlier in the chat. He's going to put a song on his. So we talked about a little bit about what happens when you. So I started an Arts in the Parks program with Will Harris here in Maine, and then we were just bringing attention, drawing attention to state parks and that kind of thing through musical performance, hanging art, 2D, 3D sculptures, and that kind of stuff in the arts in the parks, right? So we were talking about this a week ago on this live stream in the morning, and I just realized that there was a concession made at the national level, recently about YouTubers can now film in national parks, which is super cool. So if you're writing songs and you're playing your Alvarez guitars in national parks, and you do any playing or any sharing of your musical experiences in national parks, please share those with me, okay, somehow. I really, really, really want to see that stuff. So if you're inclined to do that at all, and I guess Mr. Tortorello is producing a song for us later today, dropping on his channel, and he's talking a little bit about a song about a national park. So check it out, see what's going on. I think a year from now, my guess is there's going to be a whole new body of repertoire about state and national parks, and right here across the world, but more specifically right here in America. So if you're here and you're listening to that, that's super important to us, I think. Tips for ear training. Yeah, make sure the for ear training, I would recommend knowing some music theory about keys and find a chord and song and go from there. Good idea. Theodore Roosevelt is a person we can thank for national parks. Yeah, well, I've got a whole story about that, and where we convened during the 50th and then the 40th for the juvenile, and I've got a story about that. So maybe that will come out over the span of the year, and talking about natural resources and anyway, that's a huge story that I don't want to bore you with at the moment. You can thank him for that for sure. Ear training by tooling, 2 songs. You can use, Stand By Me. That's a good one too. I had a friend here earlier this morning from Alberta, Canada, and I was talking about how we drove from the Kenai, from Anchorage, back to across the continent, but down through Canada. We came over here from the Kenai, up through the Chugach and the Wrangels, into the Yukon Territory, down through the Liard River, Hot Springs. That was all wild back then, and came all the way down through the Canadian Rockies, through Jasper and Banff, and we visited some famous places like Lake Louise and Alberta. And one of my favorite songwriters is from Alberta, Canada, and his name is Mr. Bruce Cockburn. So you can imagine what a beautiful trip that was. And wild places are to be, they're like catalysts for us to become engaged with. So let me talk quickly about tuning, ear training, tuning, okay? Ear training and tuning is to be, I would recommend you do your ear training on a keyboard, an electric piano keyboard with a piano sound, and then just practice, because that's in tune, right? The guitar, if it's not perfectly in tune, it will distort our perspective, our perception of pitch. So we don't want to get too far away from perfect tuning, right? So if we're ear training, we did months of this, semesters of this in university. So this is a very, very serious question. This is not a question to take lightly. Practice on a piano, and we're starting with C, D, and then do, do, re. You can do the same thing on the guitar. As long as your guitar is perfectly in tune, you can do this. We start with C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. You know the C major scale in open position. I would make sure your guitar is perfectly in tune though. And I'm illustrating this painfully so that you get the point, right? So we're looking at C and then D. I'm working on intervals as building blocks. So C moves up to D. There's eartraining.com. You can get these intervallic training on internet. But I recommend that you do it on your own. And you can go and check and do the tests on the internet. But if you're not engaged actively in the plunking of the notes and the actively engaged in listening of the tone. So here we do this. We practice ear training for melody. So there's a C and then a D. And then we do them together so that we can understand harmony. So we have ear training 101 is play the note, play the next note, and then let them ring until they fade out or decay naturally. Then we play them together, and it's a very meditative and attentive process that we can easily overlook. So C and then D, I don't play either one together. And then I listen for the motion, I listen for the distance, for the leap, for the jump. And then I play, C is always the reference tone for me now. And I play them together. And that way I hear what they sound like together. I hear what they sound like in the course in the relationship, a direct relationship. And then also in an indirect relationship where we introduce time. So those are two very important features of ear training. So, and then I'd move from C to D to E, C, and then E, and then here's how I would do it. And then I would break. I would literally take that much time to listen, get my, if my ears had hands, I want to grab those tones, bring them in. I want to own those tones, okay? So that's important. Then we have the 1, 2, 3, and then the 4, the F, C, and then F. And then we would play those together. C, and then G, then we play those together. And then C, and then A, which is a major 6, and then we play those together. C, and then open B, which is the major 7, and then we'd play those together. And then we have a perfect octave, or an A. But you can see, if they're not perfectly in tune, we're going to get hurt. So make sure your guitar is tuned perfectly, okay? Important. Super important. All right. So come back, and then what we do is we go ahead and do that. Start there, and then keep asking those questions for me, okay? All right. I know basic theory is completed. Let's see. I've missed some comments here. For ear training, I would recommend knowing some music theory. No, that's bad. Theodore Roosevelt. Let's see, ear training. Try tooling. Stand by Me is good. Oh, yeah. Right, it is good. All right, take a look. Frank Sinatra with Witchcraft is a good song. Oh man, there's so many good. I like your guitar. Art, thank you, Art with Coco. Silgam Shira, what's your string gauge? I use 12s, you know, 12s to, let's see, Talkridge, do you think singing a D4 versus D1 is better to know? Do you think singing a D4 versus D1, your guitar is beautiful, thanks, Art. Thank you, Art. Is it a Yamaha? I love Yamaha guitars. This one is a Martin X series. Thank you, Talkridge. Yep, I appreciate that. And so cool. I appreciate you all being here. So here's a quick song from a friend of mine from Alberta. Great songwriter. And I'm going to go ahead and say bye to Mr. Metronome for now, and then... Florida Canyon lime juice, it's 3 a.m. Blow a fruit fly off the rim of my glass. Radio's playing Super Chunk, friends of Dean Martinez. Bike tires whacking the potholes, building humans, shimmering energy glows, fusing the spaces between them with bar throb bass and laughter. If this was the last night of the world, what would I do? What would I do that was different, unless it was champagne with you? I learned as a child not to trust in my own body. That was truly the biggest heartbreak of all. I've seen the flame of hope among the hopeless, as it was champagne with you. Yeah. So there's a really great song by a really great songwriter from a really great area on this planet. And I hope you enjoyed it. It was Mr. Bruce Cockburn's Last Night of the World. And, all right. Do you think anyone can have a good singing voice? I think anyone can have a good singing voice. Absolutely, yeah. Yeah. I mean, you listen to Tom Waits and then you listen to some of us who are just, vocal tone is a really interesting thing to consider, right? So vocal tone, if you do some research on male vocal tone, male vocal rock tone, in America, you might find Steven Tyler is a brilliant model of male vocal rock tone. At the same time, you might find James Hetfield. Mr. Hetfield is a brilliant model of male heavy metal rock tone. And, I think it's a matter of practicing a craft. I think it's a matter of honing a skill. I think it's a matter of just really loving what you're doing and just enjoying it. And if you really enjoy what you're doing, then there's a chance others might enjoy what you're doing. But like it enough so that you can do it and enjoy it, even if others don't. That's where I'm at. And I appreciate you asking that question. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. And I'm getting ready to wrap it up. So any final questions would be great to hear. And if not, without further ado, I wonder if you will do how much good you will do today, and work hard, play hard. But I don't have any advice for you. I'm not a hero. I'm not anything of that sort. I'm just showing up every morning, Monday through Friday, at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to do my guitar warm-ups with you. If you'd like to join me, and if you don't, and you have other things to do. I'm happy for you that you have other things to do, and I wish you well all the same. But yeah, well, thanks for being here. All right, and until we meet again, I wish you happy picking.